The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN and get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Oh, man, what a day. I mean, what a day. For a day that it felt like we were on the right side of a number of things and we were hesitant about the right things, I still didn't hit a lock and dog. This is ridiculous. I felt like I had a really good betting day, and then I look up and the lock misses, and we don't get there. The Suns are just not good for anything, don't help to the total. And then we have Missy, and that was honestly just me and an emotional fade of Rudy Gobert because, Rudy Gobert. That doesn't go either. Nonetheless, it's a lot of other things that went right yesterday. We are going to have a discussion, decide who is who had the worst loss between the Suns, the Lakers, and the Warriors, who all had three pretty bad losses on the night. Those are three pretty bad losses. I think the Suns get a little bit more credit because the Hornets are fun. But, I mean, Lakers and Warriors, really horrible losses on the night. It was an okay show. Scott got a winner, at least. Scott's going to do the right show. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, when it comes to bad losses, I'd say that the Jazz had the most painful loss last night, but I ended up having the team total over that ended up cashing. Then, of course, Trey hit the game winner from half court. But either way, point is that game was fun, came down to the wire, and you saw the Hawks kind of eke it out at the end. But yeah, I think
6.5.
Yeah, I was going to say they covered. I feel like at the end of the day, it is going to be between those two teams that we just talked about. The Suns, it's a bad loss, but they're on a back-to-back, and LaMelo and Miller were playing.
LaMelo, it's like when LaMelo wins a game, it's like, well, you should probably be winning more of those. So
yeah, pretty much. But the point is, Charlotte was somewhat healthy. I mean, Dallas was missing the entire team. And then for the other loss that we were talking about, you had the Warriors and the Heat were on a back-to-back with double overtime and no Butler. Yeah, pretty much. So if you're asking which one's worse, I think it's the Lakers. If I had to go between them, because I don't think the Warriors are good. I mean, losing by 20.
So you think the Lakers are good?
I think the Lakers are better than the Warriors. I've been roasting the Warriors for a couple months at this point. Yeah.
Really? You think the Lakers are better than the Warriors?
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
I think all three teams suck right now.
I'm not saying that those teams are good, but the Lakers are 4 games over.
Yeah, I agree. We both on the same page. I think all teams suck, but I have the Warriors in the power rankings a little bit higher there. I mean, if we're talking about 25 and 24, well, not that low, but you get what I'm saying. If we're talking about, garbage and trash, I think the Lakers are hot garbage, like horrible.
I think if you're asking me right now who I think is better, I would say Lakers, but I don't think they're good. Either way, the point is you get run out of the building against Dallas, who's also on a back-to-back. You were not on a back-to-back, and they were missing Luka and Kyrie and Gafford. You didn't just lose, you got run out of the building, which is not what you really want to see there. It was also on national TV.
Not only did you get run out of the building, but they were on a 5-game losing streak before that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they got the get right game on you. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it definitely really was. Bad, man. I think the Lakers won talking about it.
We were talking about it. It was like, this is Avengers Infinity War. And, they saw all these billion futures where Thanos won. And then there's that one future where everybody wins. And that's the one the movie's about. That was it. This is the one future that the Mavericks won. And you called it. You said Grimes was going to have a good game off the bench. I talked about Dinwiddie and Klay Thompson, and they had pretty good days. And then here comes PJ Washington with another really good shooting day as well. And I mean, Lakers, horrible. Got to talk about them because, media, whatever. Lakers, horrible. Warriors, horrible. Suns, horrible. The big three might be done. Might be done for the big three. They were doing all the little Christmas Day interviews with Steph and with Bron and with KD. It's not looking good, fellas. Not looking good. All right.
You got anything else you want to add from the card yesterday, or is that basically it? I already mentioned the Trey half-court shot. I don't know if there's anything else you want to talk about.
No. Dogs ate yesterday. Except for the Wizards, of course.
Wizards were up 10 after a quarter, though, and they got outscored by 30 in the other 3 quarters. But Amin Thompson, really good.
Yeah, except for the Wizards and except for the Celtics, but and the Timberwolves covered. So those are the 3.
I mean, the only rant there is that Joker was a last-minute scratch, and that kind of just games on national TV. Best players not playing. Just classic NBA regular season.
And then Celtics let them hang around way too long. Like this 12-point score is not indicative of how, like, I don't want to say bad the Celtics look, but just how uninterested in actually, playing 4 full quarters.
Yeah. It felt like Boston tried for about 5 minutes, and they went on a 12-0 run, and the game was over.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Boston may cover the spread some nights, but I don't know how you can, in good faith, really bet them. Like, they really look like a team that knows they're good, and they're just waiting until the end of the season so they can show it. Like, I don't know. All right. Before we get to the games on the slate, gotta make sure that everybody is locked in, tapped in. NFL playoffs are here. Tune in to the Sports Gambling Podcast Mothership Show. Sean, Ryan, and all of the guests, over there. Make sure you get some of those super wild card picks over there. And you can get NFL props as well. They have everything getting you ready for the playoffs, the whole playoff run, maybe even some playoff best ball. So go tap in with the guys over there at the Sports Gambling Podcast. Lock in, get the app. Make sure you listen to the podcast, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff over there. SGPN, Sports Gambling Podcast. Tap in. All right. Let's see here. How do we want to start the slate today? What's today? Oh, it's Wednesday. No, college football's tomorrow. Okay. All right. Let's kick it off here. Chicago Bulls on the road going to play the Indiana Pacers. Pacers are laying 6.5 here. 241.5 is the total. Interesting. That actually dropped a point. It opened up at 242. Injury report here for these two teams, and I got for the Indiana Pacers. It looks like Tyrese Halliburton has a game time decision tag. He is questionable with an ankle injury. Nesmith out as usual. Io DeSomu is out, and the luckiest man in the world, Torrey Craig, is out as well. All right, Scott, 6.5 here with the Pacers at home. I mean, this game just is unenthused. Like, it's not. I mean, maybe if you like points, you'll see.
I was going to say I just like the over, and I'll just go from there. I feel like.
I'm curious why that line dropped.
Because Halliburton might not play.
Okay, so Halliburton might affect the spread.
I mean, I still like TJ McConnell. It's not like I
was about to say this is like a TJ
play.
McConnell triple-double game, isn't it? Like something.
I think double game potentially if you're looking at him not playing. But overall, Indiana defensively was good against the Nets. They're good against the Suns, but right now those two teams are kind of going through it right now, especially the Nets, who basically punted the roster again. As for the Bulls, they had a nice comeback win against the Spurs. They had a massive score game against the Knicks, scored 139. The Bulls, for the most part, don't really play any defense, and Indiana, for the most part, has been playing better defense lately. But you can expect to see a lot of pace between these two teams, which is why the total's in the 240s. I think we probably go over that number. I'm not saying that it's going to fly over. I think it might be close, but I think at the end of the day, this total feels a bit low to me. I'll go with the over between these two teams, but for the actual side, Indiana's playing well, but I'll ask you, how many points do you think Halliburton's actually worth?
To the spread or the total?
To the spread.
Maybe a half a point.
I was going to say, because I think McConnell can actually...
Maybe a full point. Maybe a full point at home because he plays better at home. But, like, Tyrese Halliburton hasn't been tired. Like, he's not an all-star this year.
No.
He hasn't played on that level. So, like, I mean, to me, Tyrese Halliburton isn't moving the needle right now. It's just because he's not elevating this team as he should. If he was, they'd probably be in a better situation than one game above 500. Yeah, I'm not bought into the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton. Honestly, I'm not bought into them at all. I think they're a horrible team, horrible defensively. I don't like laying points with horrible defensive teams. I don't think the Chicago Bulls are a good defensive team either, but at least they're not laying points here. I'll take the 6.5 with the Bulls. I think that they can come in here and this can be a shootout type of game, and they can keep this inside the 2 possessions. It's going to be on Vucevic, and Vucevic really to dominate on the inside and really, really, really have a good game here, because I think Pascal Siakam is going to be able to counter that with some good play on his own. I like TJ McConnell. I think TJ McConnell is fine. Maybe the Pacers win this game, but I'm not picking them to do it by margin. No way.
Yeah, Indiana has played better, but then again, you play the Nets, you play the Suns, you play the Heat. I'd say teams that we're not exactly thrilled with. Then again, did beat the Celtics in the second game there in that back-to-back. I do think at the end of the day, though, the spread feels a bit large to me. I would probably go with Chicago if I had to pick a side here. I think I prefer the over in this game in general, but I just think at the end of the day, Indiana is allowing a lot of points for a team that might be missing its starting point guard, and I feel like that might be a little bit much. We think there's going to be a bunch of points in this game, so I'm not going to pick Indiana to win by margin when I'm not sure either team gets stops. The Bulls impressed me last game. The Spurs, I don't think are that great, but they're fine. They were getting their asses kicked in that game, and they came back in the fourth quarter and they won. Levine played very well. I think Kobe White's done very well lately. Vucevic has been a borderline all-star. He's been great this year. I think I am going to go with Chicago. I do like the current form they're in, at least enough to not get blown out by this team. Give me a close game that comes down to the wire.
Scott, we may be moving the line. Line just moved to 242
Okay.
as we speak. 132 to 123 was the score in early December when these two teams matched up. Yeah. And Pacers got the win and the cover there, laying 3.5. All right. Yeah, maybe a Josh Giddey assist type of day. Me teaching McConnell, stuff like that.
I think Giddey could have a triple-double chance. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of points, a bunch of possessions. You can get weird with it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them dropped it. All right. Let's get to the next game. I have a take on this game. The Washington Wizards are on the road, going to play the Philadelphia 76ers. 76ers are laying 10.5. 221.5 is the total. Injury report here, and this is the important part of this game. So we have the Wizards coming off a back-to-back, so we don't have the updated numbers. Brogdon didn't play yesterday, so we'll see if he plays the second half of a back-to-back. Jordan Poole ended up not playing, and so we'll see if he plays the second part of a back-to-back. He was missing with a hip injury. That's his second straight game. Kyle Kuzma,
he left early.
And he didn't come back. He did not come back. So
he left with a calf bruise and he didn't come back.
Yeah, so he left in the first half, didn't come back. So we'll see if Kuzma's going to be able to play. I get all that. I understand all that. That's really all the injury. Oh, and Bagley's out, but he's been out for a while. So that's all that really matters there. It's the Philadelphia side of ball that is really interesting. So we have.
Can I play the drop for this game or no? Philly might end up being a play-in team, but they are 6 under, and they also got buried by the Suns. I think I'm just going to go for it.
After this, let me finish this. KJ Martin out. Kyle Lowry, that really doesn't move the needle, but I'll say it because it's there. Kyle Lowry's out. That really doesn't matter, guys. Don't think that Kyle Lowry matter. Don't give Kyle Lowry any credit at all, please. Paul George, Joel Embiid, both out. Andre Drummond, questionable. Before I get to my point, I'll let you play the drop. This is a borderline. I will admit, 14 wins. You don't normally get the drop, but Philadelphia has been pretty bad.
They're also sitting 2 of their best players, so yeah, I'll throw it in there.
Their best players and another guy that's a really, really above average role player.
Yep.
Sorry, PG. So, in the last 10 games or so, the Philadelphia 76ers have only covered this number once. And that was against your Brooklyn Nets, Scott. As a 2.5-point favorite. No, 9-point favorite. Twice. They covered twice. Okay, so in the last 10 games, they've covered this number twice. Once against the Brooklyn Nets, the other against the Portland Trail Blazers. If we adjust this to take out Joel Embiid and Paul George on the season when they have played without Joel Embiid and Paul George. They have gotten blown out by Milwaukee. They've lost to Toronto. They beat Indiana by 4 points. They lost by 10 to Detroit. They got blew out by Memphis. They ended up losing to Cleveland by 8. They blew out the Brooklyn Nets. Sorry, Scott. 2.5-point favorites, 113-98. They got blew out by the Clippers, 125-99. They've lost to the Rockets by 7. They've lost to Orlando by 4. Only one time without Joel Embiid and Paul George have they covered this line of 10.5. I understand the Wizards are bad, but laying 10.5 with this Philadelphia team as presently constructed without
A lot of key pieces.
two major pieces, another key piece, and then Kyle Lowry.
And McCain is still injured.
This, I understand how horrible it sounds to say take the Wizards. But I also want to add, if you weren't impressed by the 76ers stats of the ball, the Wizards in the last 10 games that they have played the 76ers have covered this spread 7 of the last 10 games. This number right here, they have covered in 7 of the last 10 games versus 76ers. Those are some bad Wizards team, I want you to know. This is since 2021. Since 2021 is like the dog days of Wizards basketball. And they have covered against this team in 7. They covered this number specifically against this team in 7 of the last 10 games. Scott, we can't take the 76ers here. We have to take I don't know if we've done it at this season you have done it once, but I don't think I've done it this season at all. We have to take the Wizards here.
Yeah, I picked the Wizards money line against the Bulls, I think earlier last week. I don't mind the Wizards money line again today. I'm not saying they're going to fully win the game, but if you're asking where the value is, it's not.
I'm telling you they're going to fully win the game.
They have a decent chance to win it. That's all I'm saying. 10.5's a lot. In fact, I think it's up to 11 in some spots, but it's basically 4-1 on the Wizards against a team missing all of its key pieces besides one guy. Now, the problem is the Wizards can't guard anybody. So if Maxey drops 50, that's pretty standard.
And I will admit, the Wizards have given out 4 50-point games this season already.
Yeah. So I'd rather bet Maxey props on the Sixers to win. And maybe Oubre is a big game. I know he had a monster game last time out against the Suns. They lost anyway, but he had like 26 points. So maybe, those two guys can kind of carry, but I think the Wizards can actually score the basketball. They can't guard. But I do think if Poole's back in the lineup, Kuzma means nothing to me because he missed a lot of the season anyway. And you could argue that Kuzma's one of the bigger empty stat guys in the entire league because every time he plays and he puts up numbers, they don't actually win. So I do think the Wizards have enough scoring depth to at least keep this game competitive. The Sixers need Maxey to have an absolute monster game as far as I'm concerned. And maybe he puts it up. And maybe he ends up going for a monster game, but there's no guarantee they win anyway. 10.5's a lot. Like, I think 4-1, if they play this game 4 times with these rosters, the Wizards win at least
going to win a game. They're going to win a game.
So I'll go with the Wizards as well. I think 10.5's too big. I think the money line has some value to it too. I'll go with that.
When they are in the game, they are competitive and they have a chance to win the game. There's no way I could take this spread and not sprinkle on the money line.
And even the game yesterday, they got blown out by the Rockets in the end. They led by 10 after a quarter. Like, they've had some quarters here or there where they've looked pretty good. I think that they can keep this game close. But I think for value, I can't take the Sixers missing this many guys to win by double digits. I think that's an insane price.
Yeah. I feel really bad about how good I feel about the Wizards, but it's really just more of how bad I feel about the 76ers.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Why not? Why don't we play the drop for this? Well, all right. It's being reported that Chris Middleton will play off the bench for the Bucks moving forward. Taurean Prince is going to the starting lineup.
Is it bad that I half forgot Middleton was even on the team?
No. Well, kind of. His assist's been really good.
I know, but he never plays. That's what I meant. I recognize his assist being good.
Okay.
He's just never on the court. I just forgot he was there.
Facts. That's Darvin Ham effect. Taurean Prince in the starting lineup. That's Darvin Ham on the bench. We might be in the final dark days of Doc Rivers and the Bucks. You get them how you lose them, or you lose them how you get them. That's what we say. You lose them how you get them. He got them kind of crazy. Finna lose them kind of crazy too. All right. No, before we get to the next game, let's say, guy, talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Make sure you go tap in. No, wait, no, it's not Underdog Fantasy. No, that's the second one. Hey, playoffs are here. And you're going to need somewhere to go tap in with the Sports Gambling Podcast, Mothership Show. Make sure you go listen. And so you can do that over there at DraftKings Sportsbook and lock into the NFL playoffs. Get you some nice first touchdown bets. Hey, you can go over there and even tap into the college football playoff, NBA, all of that more over there at DraftKings. College football playoff on the way. And I'm sitting here doing props for the Cotton Bowl, Scott. And I found an Arch Manning touchdown at 11-1.
Okay.
And I had to bet it. Absolutely had to bet it. I mean,
just give him a goal line run package. That's all you need.
That's it. That is it. He's got 4 touchdowns on the season, by the way. Good point to point out there. So, you can get that over there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Go check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Make sure you go over there. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Use that promo code SGP for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Thank you, Voice from God, to tell us that. All right. Next game up. We've got the game of the night. That's why I wanted to wait and just go ahead and get that out of the way. Game of the night. Oklahoma City Thunder on the road going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs open up laying 2.5. They're currently laying 3. 230 is the total. I think that context matters for these games, and the context is that the Cavs have been 10-0 in the last 10 games. The Thunder have been 15-0 in the last 15 games. Cavs are 10-0 against the West. The Thunder are 11-0 against the East. Both teams are number 1 in the conference. This is the biggest game of the night and biggest game thus far for these two teams in the season as a litmus test of, hey, how good are we? So, injury report here, and we have for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are going to be without, when I find them, there we go, Alex Caruso tonight. No Chet Holmgren, of course, and no Ajay Mitchell not playing. So 3, well, Chet's out, but 2 pretty good bench pieces in the depth of that guard rotation for OKC. And then you have no Isaac Okoro. He's out with that shoulder injury. And you got the questionable tag on Sam Merrill. So, Scott, we have a OKC team that finally got some size with IH, and they're playing a lot better. And since IH has come back, they've looked like one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league.
What are they again? They're like 18-1, 19-1 when he plays, something.
Yeah,
stupid.
Something crazy like this. It's comparable to last season when OG came back joined the Knicks, and how good the Knicks were when OG came in. Something similar to that. With the Cavs, Evan Mobley is playing like a man possessed over the course of the entire season. I think that he's not getting talked about enough for a most improved player. Especially for the role he's in and the amount of usage and how well he's been playing over the course of the season. Jared Allen, still a dog. They have some size to play with them. This Cavs team playing really, really well under Kenny Atkinson. Curious of where you're going here, Scott. Cavs, OKC, who do you like?
Yeah, it's definitely the game that you should be watching tonight because this could be a finals preview. I think these might be the best 2 teams in the league. Maybe. People might argue Boston, but what I've seen so far in the regular season, I think these are the best 2 teams in the league. Now, I do think for this matchup, I'm going to go with Cleveland, mainly because I don't see much separating these teams. I'll take the home court advantage if I had to pick like a tiebreaker, I guess, between these teams. I do think that Hardenstein, of course, has been the main answer for the Thunder because they could not rebound and they just needed a guy who's going to help either patrol the middle in terms of actually blocking shots or rebounding. But I do like the overall size that the Cavs have in multiple positions, and that can give the Thunder some problems. I like the scoring depth. We've seen the Cavs have a bunch of guys who can potentially make the All-Star game, maybe even like 4 guys. Like, they have a bunch of guys that can actually put the ball in the basket. Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen too. The Thunder, they still rely heavily on Shea, as they should, because he's an absolute monster, and he's going to be a top 2 finalist for the MVP. You're not sure if he's going to win or not, but still. I just still feel like if you're asking me right now what separates these teams, I think home court advantage might actually matter quite a bit for this game. I'm going to go with the Cavs. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy win, but the Thunder, we've said it before, at least I have on the show, they tend to kind of coast and then wake up for a quarter and try to bury you. You can't coast against this Cavs team. Like, you just can't coast. My concern is that the Thunder are going to fall behind early because they've been doing that for this
the last 5 games.
Streak, and then they wake up in the second half and come back. But I feel like the Cavs are too deep offensively to fall behind early and survive on the road. That's my concern. I don't mind Cleveland first half maybe in this game, but the Thunder have gone off to some slow starts, then found themselves in a situation where they need to come back. They do, mostly at home against Boston and against the Knicks over the weekend. I think Cleveland's going to be able to get the lead early and hold it. I'll go Cleveland -2.5. I actually like the under in this game, though, because I think these teams are going to kill each other. I just expect the playoff-type atmosphere with a potential battle of, I'd say, hierarchy. You could argue whoever wins this game is bragging rights to the best team in the league. I like the under in this game, and the total's too high, but I think Cleveland has enough scoring depth to get a lead and hold off OKC in what should be a really fun game. But I'll go with Cleveland at home.
Last 5 games, OKC 1-4 in the first half. ATS Cavs are 5-0 in that span. If we go the duration of the Cavs' entire winning streak, the Thunder are 4-6 ATS in the first half. Cavs are 8-2. However, full game, Oklahoma City Thunder 8-1-1, ATS Cavs 7-3. So both teams been dominant, not only in just winning in these last 10 games, but also covering the spread. Like you said, Thunder have started games off really, really slow and locked in the second half. And so the Cavs have a back-to-back tomorrow, and they play Toronto. So it's not like you're looking ahead, but if there was ever all right, we went up, starting to feel good about ourselves. Hey, let's put this person in for an extra minute, 2 than we probably would have. Maybe. It's hard for me to go against SGA and how the Thunder have been playing in the second half. And I think that my thing is I don't want to be turned off of the OKC second half comeback thing just because I see a team on a 10-game win streak on the other side. Where, granted, yes, they are a really, really good team. But I will say that even though I'm questionable about Boston, Boston's still a really good team too. Even though the New York Knicks pissed me off, the Knicks are still a good team too. And they were able to pull these comebacks against them. I'm going to just continue rolling with OKC, man. Like, I think the best play is that Cavs first half. I think that we both agree that this is going to start the same. We just think that it's going to end a little different. I think OKC can be able to come back and pull it out. And you think that, you can't go down to this Cavs team, and you really can't. It's really tough. So a little bit split on the full game, but we're both in agreement there. You play the Cavs first half -1.5 to 1.5, -1.5. That's the play for the game for sure.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I could actually take Oklahoma City if I'm skeptical of how they're going to do in the first half, because I can just get a much better line in game than 2.5.
So, definitely get it or live bet OKC like.
Yeah, or if you want to go Cavs first half, Thunder full game, I'm not doing that, but I did that over the weekend against the Knicks. Shout out to the 550 payout there. But the Thunder were at home for those games. I do think that they thrive on the overall energy from the crowd over there for those second half comebacks. I don't think you can fall behind again against this team in Cleveland. I feel like that's a pretty tough situation to get yourself into. Close game. I think Mitchell is going to try to match Shea. I don't know if he's going to, but he's going to try to. And I feel like you're looking at the Cavs, the chemistry's on point, they're healthy for the most part, and Agnes has done a great job of kind of finding another gear offensively with this team. I think the Cavs' depth could give the Thunder a bit of problems, but it should be a great game. I'll be watching it. I got to actually make sure this game's on TV. Thank God this game's on TV.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's on
cool.
TV. Yeah.
I'll be watching it. So there we go.
Yeah, nice little 4-letter network game there. All right. Before we get to the next game of the slate, now I got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em has a big menu of all sports. You can get in there in college football, NFL, NBA, all of that over there at Underdog Fantasy. You can use special and boost on all your flex entries as well to just get as big as a payout as you can. So go sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. Lock in because we will be dropping that underdog lineup at the end of the show, so make sure you stay around for that. New York Knicks are at home. Knicks are at home going to play the Toronto Raptors. Knicks are laying 12, 231.5 is the total injury report, and we have for the Raptors it looks like nothing. Clean injury report. Everybody's expected to go for Toronto. For the New York Knicks, can't say the same, however, because you have Deuce McBride, who is questionable. You got Cat, who is also questionable with a knee. He did miss the last game, so we'll see if he'd be able to play this one. Last time out, they were playing Orlando, and they did not cover. They didn't even win the game outright as 10.5 point. I think it was bigger than 10.5. I feel like that's the lower that line dropped, but they weren't able to cover that line. Here we go. Knicks, yet again, a double-digit favorite here. What are you doing?
Yeah, so the Knicks are a good team. I think we can agree on that, but they piss me off because every time you want to put them in that upper echelon, they immediately just underachieve against two bad teams and you're back to where you started. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, absolutely.
So this feels like a classic Knicks letdown spot. Now, they've played 2 times already this season. Toronto fared well in the first game, but lost. Cat hit that 3 at the end, but they lost by 5. They still covered. Second game, the Knicks did win by 14. They were up by a ton. Then Toronto almost backdoored the thing, but the Knicks ended up winning by 14 in the end. Very high-scoring game. A game got into the 260s. Cat, though, at 31, 10, and 7 in that game before he fouled out. So Cat has killed this Toronto team. If Cat's out, I'm going with Toronto. If Cat's in, I probably just prefer the over in this game because I could see each team kind of getting up there and scoring. But a lot of it depends on Cat, but he's got a bad knee. Missed the last game against Orlando, which they lost anyway, even though Orlando has no players. I think I'm going to go Toronto plus the points. It just feels like too many for a team that might be missing its best player. And this Knicks team without Cat is significantly worse. I cannot overstate that. They are significantly worse than with Cat in the lineup because Cat's been really, really good.
Think about it. It makes sense because if Cat's not in the lineup, now you are down. It's like you're playing the Knicks without Cat, without Julius Randle, without Dante DiVincenzo. Like that's a lot of pieces that would be missing for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, you're throwing in Jericho Sims or Achua. Like, that's a massive downgrade there. Yeah. Now, you're looking at Toronto. They can score, and they're fully healthy. We saw Barrett miss a game or two with illness. Quickly's back. Dick is still healthy for now, even though he missed a couple games, I believe, a little while ago. Barnes, though's healthy. Pirtle's healthy. They have nobody in the injury report. So you have a fully healthy Toronto team. And it's a revenge spot for a couple of players here, whether it involves Quickly or Barrett. Maybe they have a good game in MSG. Who knows? But I'm going to take the points. I think 11.5 is too many if Cat's potentially not going to play.
I'm glad to see Grady is still healthy. I'm very glad to see Grady is still healthy. All right. Toronto 0-2-1 as a double-digit dog. Believe it or not,
They had a bunch of guys that were dead though. So like I don't know if that factors in everyone that was injured.
Yeah, and that could be it. It could be the fact that when they were catching 10, it's probably because a lot of people were injured. But I don't know. Toronto's been horrible over the last few games. I think it is as simple as you said. If Cat plays, fine. Lay to 12 with the Knicks. Cat probably has a big game. They probably pull away, something like that. They was able to, beat Utah by 12. So, but if Cat doesn't play, there's no way you could lay this number with the Knicks. No
if
way.
I was going to take the Knicks, I'd rather take the team total over because I think there is a world where the Knicks score a bunch of points but just don't guard anybody. That could happen in this game. Toronto defensively has been a mess. Like, I'm not telling you that this team's good. I'm not pretending that they are. But the Knicks without Cat are significantly worse, and Brunson's going to have to carry almost the entire offense. If Cat's out, though, I don't mind a Josh Hart triple-double in this game. I feel like that's a pretty standard pivot.
Well, I
If
would
Cat misses.
definitely be all over his rebounds for sure.
So that could be a pivot there. But I see points, so I don't mind the over in this game. But I think Toronto can hang in there.
All right. 4 games left. We got the Detroit Pistons on the road going to play the Brooklyn Nets. Scott, I swear we just talked about this yesterday. We got Detroit laying 8.5 on the road here. 212.5 is the total. It better be some huge injury news here. That's all I have to say. Detroit is going to be without Jaden Ivey and Asar Thompson. And we have the Brooklyn Nets who are going to be without
Everybody.
Ben Simmons is questionable. Bogdanovich is out. Cam Johnson is out. Cam Thomas is out. D'Lo is out. Trendon Watford is out. That's all that matters.
Yep.
All right. I understand. I'm willing to fall on the sword, Scott. I am. You cannot lay points with this Pistons team. We just talked about this yesterday. We literally just mentioned this yesterday. You cannot lay points with the Pistons. Yeah, the Pistons might win the game. They're not covering this margin. This is 3 possessions. Like, regardless, these are NBA players. And the Pistons, while they are better, 18-8, I'm not thinking that they are, 8.5 point. They shouldn't be 8.5 point favorites against anybody. They may win a game by, 8.5, but they shouldn't be 8.5 points against anybody. I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I personally get it. The Nets, I think, can score. They might be the worst
You're gonna do
offense
it.
in the entire league. I'm not. I'm going to go back to what I said
Okay.
last game with the Nets. The Nets were against the Pacers. I said take the Pacers wire to wire. I'll take it for the Pistons here. Pistons wire to wire is plus 124. Sure. I'll fade one of the worst teams in the league to lose the first quarter and then to not come back after that. The Pistons, I think, are good enough to get a lead early. They can at least score. They have the rebounding as well with Duren. The Nets really don't have that. I mean, Sharp's been fine, but I'm not a Claxton guy. I don't think he's very good. But I think Cade's easily the best player out on the court. Beasley, I think, is a great shooter. Hardaway Jr. had a great game last time out. I believe he only scored points. I don't think he had a stat besides that. He had 26 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to shoot it. I'll tell you that much. But I'll go with the Pistons wire to wire. Plus money fading this Nets team, missing their entire squad. So give me the Pistons once again wire to wire at around plus 124.
The Pistons are, Jesus Christ, where are you at? They're sitting at 3-8 ATS as a favorite. Wow, Jesus Christ, 3-8. Yeah, I can't do anything with that.
I'm just trying to see what it is on DraftKings for the win every quarter. Yeah, plus 125 on DraftKings is the best price I could find. Why not? I'll take plus money to fade this Nets team.
The Pistons have been a favorite one time of this number. They did not cover the number. Jesus Christ. I mean,
watching
I wonder,
this Nets team play, they can't score.
What is Pistons? Pistons 1 to 10 is interesting. Pistons and Brooklyn plus 8.5 in a little 2-pick parlay is also interesting.
Yeah, Pistons 1 to 10 is plus 185.
I really can't watch this game to see how they don't cover the spread, because it is probably going to be a moment where they're probably going to be up and it's like, oh, hey, you should really cover the spread. And then they're just not going to. All right.
I've watched a couple of those Nets games, though, missing all these guys. They are bad. They are really, really bad.
Yeah, they are.
They can't score.
I may eat shit for this. Yeah, they 123-94 to Philly. I don't care who's playing for Philly. It's insane. Insane.
Against Indiana, too. I don't even think they got to 100 in that game.
Yeah, not getting to 100 in Indiana is really tough.
And they played one time this season already. Pistons did win by 14 in Brooklyn, so they faced off in November. A couple months ago, but still. I think Detroit's better. I get what you're saying, though. They mess around a lot, but damn, this Nets team isn't any good. I'm happy about it. I saw the Cooper Flag poster dunk yesterday. I'm happy my team sucks again. So maybe they'll get the number 1 pick, but who knows?
Yeah, Wizards looking up Cooper Flag highlights too. Quiet as kept. Pelicans also looking up Cooper Flag highlights. Pelicans are at home welcoming the Portland Trailblazers. Pelicans somehow are laying 2.5 points in this game. 225 is the total injury report here. And we have for the Pelicans in a back-to-back. Okay. There is it doesn't say anything official here. I would bet a pretty significant amount of money from what we've seen in the past that Zion does not play in this game.
It wouldn't shock me. Team sucks, and he actually played a game for once. They're probably not going to play him on a back-to-back.
Probably not going to play him on a back-to-back. I would be very interested to see him playing a back-to-back. I do see, if I pull this up and I look at this correctly, is that a questionable tag on Trey Murphy? No.
He did not play yesterday.
He didn't play. I know. Yeah, he didn't play yesterday. We'll see if he. So he's considered day-to-day. So he does have a chance to play with day-to-day. He does have a chance to play today, but
it would make sense if they swapped him and Zion.
Yeah, it really would. All right. Jamal Cain. For the Portland Trailblazers, you got Jerami Grant, who's already been ruled out. You got Donovan Clingan, who is questionable. And we got Denny Avdia, who is questionable as well. I think Denny Avdia has a chance to actually miss the game, but it looks like Clingan's going to probably play. He just missed because of rest the last time out. All right.
Well, I got to do it. A clear toilet bowl, just to be clear.
Yeah. Why are is it because Zion? Wait, what from that game? They're clearly not watching the games. I
actually did watch that game. Fun fact. I actually did watch it. I sat through and I watched.
Did both teams not look horrible?
I think Minnesota was coasting and took over the third quarter, but damn, the Pelicans were really bad the entire second half. They couldn't do anything the entire second half. I decided it might be a new thing I'm trying to do where I'm actually going out of my way to watch one bad team per day, just to see how bad they actually are. I kind of went in wondering, I know the Pelicans are bad, but are they like 7-29 bad? Like that was what I went into the game seeing. The answer is yes. This team's horrible. That was my takeaway from that game. But they made the game interesting at the end because Ant started taking some bad shots and he turned the ball over late. But that game was over, I'd say, pretty early on.
Score. So it was one point at the end of the game where they were down 3 and the Timberwolves get the ball. Just set your defense in the half court. They couldn't score. I mean, the Timberwolves couldn't score for like the previous 5 minutes before that. I think they were living off of free throws at that point. They could not score. And here come the Pelicans blitzing the basketball, trying to trap, end up fouling. And now, Ant goes to the line and makes it a 5-point game. You have no chance to win the game. And it's like, just play them straight up. They can't score. Just play them straight up.
I didn't think either team looked good yesterday, but the Pelicans I thought looked bad. They scored 43 points in the entire second half. They scored less than 23 points in each of the last 3 quarters. We're in 2025. You can't score 23 in a quarter for about an hour and a half. It's not very good. The issue that I had with this team is pretty simple. It just felt like as the game went on, the Pelicans just had to settle for a bunch of jumpers, and Minnesota kept going to the rim. And I feel like that's a problem the Pelicans have, is that they really don't have much length on the interior. They tried Tice. I know that Missy's fine. Offensively, he's still a bit raw. He's a rookie. It makes sense. But it just feels like I think Portland's going to do well on the boards in this game and they'll do well in the paint. The Pelicans, though, I don't think they're a well-coached team. Just watching them play, I was not impressed at all. Portland's had moments. They blew a 20-point lead or so to Detroit. They were also beating Detroit by 20, so there's a couple ways to look at it. I think Portland is a better team than New Orleans right now. They're not good, but if you're asking me right now who I'm going to take in this game, I'm taking Portland. I think Portland is a better basketball team as currently constructed. A very, very low bar, but it's still a bar nonetheless. It's still a bar nonetheless. I'll take Portland. At least they had a day off yesterday. That counts for something.
No, really, like they have the rest advantage. So they are on the first game of a back-to-back, but you got the Pelicans here are playing the second game back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights. They've been playing a lot of basketball. The injury report has been up and down, in flux with them. While this is the healthiest they've been this season, they are still not healthy. And I mean, they could really throw us a curveball and say, yeah, we're not going to play Trey Murphy and we're not going to play Zion in this game. I'm almost 100% positive Zion's not playing. Like, I just can't think of the time where I remember Zion playing back-to-backs, and you're telling me the first game that he's played, well, it feels like this is the first game he's played all year. I have to go back and look at the film to remind myself that Zion actually played other basketball games this season, but this feels like the first game he's played all year. I just feel like they're not going to go throw him out there in a back-to-back, and more of what Scott said is probably going to be a swap for Zion for Trey Murphy in this game, which We do
I
like
like
Trey
Trey
Murphy.
Murphy a lot.
Yeah, we do like Trey Murphy. So could we eat shit with this? Possibly. But there's no way I'm laying points with the Pelicans. Like that's ultimately what it is. I'm not.
I am
laying
going to point out, by the way, this is the fourth meeting. Portland did win each of the last 2 meetings, one in Portland, one in New Orleans, each by 18 plus points. So Portland has smacked the crap out of this team.
And the game before that, I remember that one.
They were winning in the choke.
7-point. They were a 7-point favorite, and they choked the game away, and Portland ended up losing by 2. So that's actually they've covered this number in the last 3 games playing this team. Yeah, it's Portland all day. All right, next game up. I don't really have anything for the total. I think we missed total in a couple of games, but I don't really have anything on the total.
I don't either because New Orleans can't really score.
Actually, no, I lied. Give me an under because New Orleans can't score. Give me under.
All right.
That was really really bad. It was some Zion, some DeJounte Murray, and then really a lot of, hey, please make a shot.
I have to remember what McCollum did yesterday because he was
nothing. He was like 1 for 14.
I think he was literally 1 for 14. He might have been the worst player in the entire league yesterday. He did absolutely nothing the entire game. It was a mess. They benched him down the stretch because he was that bad. Like it was painful to watch McCollum play yesterday.
Yeah. All right. Los Angeles Clippers going to play the Denver Nuggets. I have no idea what to do with this game because Denver lost all hope and trust in me in the injury report yesterday. But we'll see. Maybe Joker wakes up today and he feels better and he says, hey, we're going to go play. And you know what? That makes sense because the Clippers come to town. And as we all know, he hates the Clippers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Really hates the Clippers. But Clippers also not a likable organization. However, they're fully healthy except for PJ Tucker. Why is he like? Is it
Tucker's actually the healthiest guy in the league?
Hey man, a wise old head on the block once told me, "Hey, bro, sometimes it's cheaper to keep her."
I'm just saying, PJ Tucker, arguably healthiest player in the league? Question mark? He might be.
Hey, sometimes it's cheaper to keep her, man. Sometimes it's cheaper to keep her. All right.
I'm just saying those shoes might be getting a bit dusty in the shoe closet.
Oh no, he's definitely in there taking care of them joints all day. He ain't got nothing else to do. Let's see here. We'll see if Aaron Gordon makes a return. I doubt it. But the real big question is Joker going to play after scratching with that illness yesterday? It's kind of hard to handicap this game not knowing if Joker's going to play.
So was Koulibaly patient 0 for the illnesses going around the league?
Possibly.
Because these illnesses have actually lasted a couple days, from what I've noticed. There have been some players that have missed a few games with illnesses.
I would love to go back and cross-check who played who with what and who got what illness and try to figure this out because it's clearly something going around the league.
And it seems like it's not COVID. It seems like it's actually like the flu or something.
Yo, I'm like, is this pneumonia?
Yeah.
They're legitly sick where they cannot even. Koulibaly left the game in the first 4 minutes and they were like, yeah, I can't do this. No way. This is, I don't know. It's not COVID. They're saying it's a non-COVID illness, so it's got to be like flu.
It's also different because Joker had a kid. He also missed about a week and a half after having a kid. So I don't know if he's going to milk the illness or not, but if he doesn't play this game, it wouldn't shock me either.
He needs a mid-season break for carrying this team.
Pretty much, but...
Yeah, give me the Clippers laying 2.5, regardless if Joker even does play. And I understand that it is very, very dangerous taking the Clippers with Joker playing because he can go for 50... 15 and 15 against this Clipper squad anytime he wants. But the Clippers been playing defense and they've been really solid. And I think Norman Powell, for some reason, Scott, have you seen the most improved player vote award odds? Yeah. Have you seen that? Cade is number 1.
Yeah. Well, I know Munaf pitched Cade about a month ago, and I agreed with him at the time. He made a pretty compelling case. The award's broken. You can give the awards to former number 1 picks. We saw Ja get it. So the argument is Cade is having a monster season and Detroit might be a play-in team. I think it's ridiculous because Cade was literally projected to be a franchise carrying player. At least he had that potential. So I don't really get it.
They literally said, hey, this can be the guy that saves Detroit basketball. How are you most improved?
That's what I'm saying.
If anything, you haven't reached your full potential because you haven't saved Detroit basketball yet.
The argument is he's a young number 1 pick who's getting better as every year goes on. In other words, what a number 1 pick's supposed to be doing in the league with a bit more of experience. But
this is ridiculous. How is Norman Powell not good? There's no way Norman Powell doesn't win this award.
I'm not surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that Cade's favored, though, because I think that Munaf made a good case about a month ago because the award criteria is broken. Like the award criteria is
They don't
extremely
know.
broken.
They don't know what it means. They don't know what it means.
Cade's numbers have gone up dramatically compared to last year, but he's a number 1 pick in the draft. There should be a rule that you cannot have insane
Pascal
expectations.
Siakam won this award.
That
Pascal
makes
Siakam
sense.
played in the G League.
Yeah.
He played in the G League. That's a most improved player. They said you weren't even good enough to be in the league, and then you got in the league and you dominated. Like,
I mean, last year I thought Kobe White was like an obvious answer because he's actually what the award means. You're basically like a fringe rotation guy, or you're like a starter, but you're not really worth a damn, no offense, and then you become an actual asset in the span of a year. That's what it should mean, but instead we're giving it to former number 1 picks. So whatever.
What's the updated odds on that?
I'll check.
This
I think
is
Cade,
way better.
I think Cade is still favored, though. I mean, Cade's having a monster year, I get, and the argument is you want to give him something, but former number 1 pick should really not be allowed to win this award because you're projected to be good when you enter the league. Like, that's completely not what the award was meant to get. Cade's 175, Hero's 350, Jalen Johnson's 4-1, Mobley's 10-1, Powell's 11-1.
What?
Wemby's at 14-1. What the hell are we doing with Wemby at 14-1? I would vote for Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels at 16-1 makes a lot of sense.
So
I agree with Powell, though. I think Powell makes sense too. But
in 1 year, he's gone from averaging 13.9 points per game to 23.5 in one season.
I don't know if Dyson Daniels really played on New Orleans. He fits your Siakam answer because he was a bench guy on New Orleans, and now he's leading the league in steals. Like, I think Dyson Daniels makes a lot of sense for what the award should be referring to.
This is ridiculous.
I think Cade's going to win it, but it's just former lottery players that turn out to be really good. You basically get the award for not being a bust. And I'm like, what are we doing here? That's not what the award's meant to be, but whatever.
It feels like they want to give Cade, like, just make a comeback player of the year if you want that so bad. Make a comeback player of the year.
Can we add another award, like a Rising Star award, and that way you can keep the overall most improved, but
and
also
just get rid
flowers.
Of the clutch and get rid of the clutch player.
The clutch is stupid. Make a Rising Star like a Young Star award, and you give an award to some guy who's under 25, and you just give him the award no matter where he was drafted as the guy that made a big leap to superstardom. But you keep the actual integrity of the most improved, and you give it to a bench player or something who became a serious asset.
Yeah, and you're trying to change everything. You're trying to change the All-Star game. You're trying to change the end season. You're trying to change all this stuff. Change the award because this is ridiculous. We say all that to say we already I have this figured out. I'm probably going to just take the Clippers regardless. Are you taking Nuggets if Joker plays?
I mean, the Nuggets did kill the Clippers last time these teams faced off against each other, but I don't think Joker's going to play. He left the arena with illness. Like, this is not some light cold here.
He didn't shoot around.
But I'm saying, Koulibaly left the game early after 9 minutes and said, I can't go. He missed a week.
Yep.
Joker left the arena early. This isn't some mild illness. This is pretty, debilitating for at least
I'm not going to lie.
Two.
Clippers is kind of in lock territory.
I don't think that Joker's going to play, at least compared to how other guys have handled the illnesses around the league, and assuming it's the same illness, because these illnesses travel with all of the teams traveling all the time and, all that stuff. But I think Joker's going to sit again, so I'll go with the Clippers. But Westbrook triple-double, though, could be on the horizon.
That's a good point. Even if Joker does play, what does he look like? Because if he's got this illness that Koulibaly and some of these other guys have, he's not going to look good. He's gonna be over there very, very exhausted, sucking up air, trying to make a play for his team. Wow, I didn't think I was gonna like the Clippers that much, but Denver is rough.
I'm just saying Joker is definitely not a foregone conclusion to play in this game. If you've been tracking all the illness statuses of other guys across the league, you've seen guys miss multiple games with this illness. So just keep that in mind.
San Antonio Spurs on the road going to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks laying 5, 226.5 is the total. Injury report here for the San Antonio Spurs. And we got Jeremy Sohan is out. For the Bucks, we've got Giannis, who is probable. We've got Andre Jackson, who is probable. And we've got Chris Middleton, who will come off the bench moving forward. But he should be expected to play.
Last time we saw the Spurs, they blew a 19-point lead to the Bulls.
Yeah. So is this the get-up spot after that?
But we saw Giannis get a triple-double against Toronto, but Toronto's a fake team, so I don't know if that means anything.
Giannis didn't have to do much either. I think. What did he end up scoring? Was it like 17 points, something like
No,
that?
he had like 11. I think he took like 5 shots in the entire
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. And then,
He had a triple-double in 3 quarters.
I do
He
think
just made
that
a nap.
Giannis is a really good play today. I think that Giannis is going to fill up the stat sheet. I remember watching Wemby and Joker matchup and Joker having those 2 40-point games.
I remember Embiid having 70. Does that count?
Oh, shit. Hell yeah, that did happen. Damn.
This is a bit dated, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Holy shit. I forgot about that. That definitely did happen. That was definitely against them. Oh, yeah. I think that we'll probably be talking about him in Underdog. I think that Giannis is going to have a pretty big day. Is everybody else going to step up? I don't know. Despite that loss, and how they lost, this team is still
They fell
8-2.
apart. They
They're
fell
8-2
apart so
against
hard
the spread.
in crunch time, though. They were so bad in crunch time in that game.
They covered 8 straight games before that.
Yeah.
Well, not before that, but before the second Denver game. So then they lost to Denver the second time. That was the first non-cover in the last 8. And then they played that game against the Bulls, and it looked good until it wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Spurs, but I don't like it.
I think I'm going to take Milwaukee in this game. I've mentioned multiple times, and yes, the Spurs are 500. I'm aware that they have been better than other teams, and maybe I didn't anticipate them being better than preseason. I still don't think this roster is actually good. I think Wemby, of course, is Wemby. He's great. He's going to be the face of the league. Like, it is what it is. But he's a very good player.
Okay.
You throw in all the other depth guys. Vassell we like.
Okay. All right. Making sure all right.
Chris Paul can't shoot. Let's just be honest. He was good last game from the floor in the third quarter.
It is very fortunate when Chris Paul makes a shot. You're right.
Correct. He can't shoot. He's a good free throw shooter. He can't actually shoot from the floor. Castle barely
Unless he gets to
plays.
that one spot, like that
Yeah.
one. You know, I don't even have to say it. If you watch Chris Paul basketball, you know exactly what spot on the floor I'm talking about. If he doesn't get to that spot, he's not making the shot.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's from the right elbow. But anyway, point is that you're looking at Chris Paul who can't really shoot. You're looking at Castle, who for some reason doesn't play that much, who was favored to win Rookie of the Year for about a week, and then the Spurs cut his minutes. I don't really get it, but Castle's played less than 18 minutes in every game since December 15th. Sorry, no, he's played less than 20 minutes in, sorry, I meant to say 5 of the last 7. So they kind of pulled his minutes a bit there. Are you a fan of, I don't know what Barnes does on this team. I don't think Harrison Barnes is any good.
He's always just there, and
he's
always,
there for veteran leadership, and I don't think he's actually good at basketball.
He comes and he helps out, some games, and then other games he doesn't. Like, it's Harrison Barnes.
My point is, you can
Lord. That is the true Time Lord.
You can mention the supporting cast of the Spurs team. It is very weak. It is very, very weak, and I feel like Wemby needs to kind of go band for band here with Giannis to actually keep this game close. I'm going to take the Bucks because they at least have Dame to help them out. They got a couple guys. Middleton can actually maybe help out the second unit. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but at least he can give you some minutes and some potential all-around work off the bench. I'll go with Milwaukee. The Spurs, once again, they need a monster game from Wemby, and I don't trust the other role players. I think this roster is really not that great. Sohan's actually had a decent year, and Sohan is injured. But the Spurs have 2 zeros on their team as far as I'm concerned, and Harrison Barnes and Zach Collins. I think Harrison Barnes and Zach Collins are bad at basketball, so I don't really want to bother. Give me the Bucks in this game. And Keldon Johnson, I was going to mention before, he does shoot a lot. I don't know how well he fits with this roster. I like Champagnie too. I think Champagnie's fine, but Champagnie's more of like a spot shooter. Keldon kind of needs the ball in his hands, but you'd rather have the ball.
Keldon would be a very good 6-piece on a playoff roster.
The point is, Keldon needs the ball in his hands to be successful, but you'd rather have the ball in Wemby and in Vassell's hands, so he's kind of in no man's land with this team. I don't really like the roster construction, so I'll go with the Bucks. Damn, Harrison Barnes is bad. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's close things out here. Let's see. Lock, dog, underdog. What do you like here, Scott?
All right. Well, question. You want me to go first this time, or you want to go first this time?
I did reverse sweep the last episode. Didn't play that drop, by the way. It's very, very, very ugly. I can go first.
We'll play it twice if you get reverse swept again.
All right.
We'll just roll it over.
All right. I'll go. Lock. Chicago Indy over 242.
Okay.
Dog. How much is Portland? Plus one.
Not enough.
Can you? No, because can Portland blow out New Orleans? No.
They won each of the last 2 games by 18 plus points against this team. They have done it.
Damn it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm putting you back on the fence, but they have blown them out the last 2 games.
Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Because Simons actually has been playing pretty well too. So we're gonna make a little parlay. Because I'm perfectly fine fading the Pelicans again. Let's go with Simons, get over 22.5, and Portland to win the game, plus 230.
All right, I don't mind that. Okay. So for mine, I also like the over in that one. Do I want to go Cavs first half? That's really the question.
I'm
really tempted by it.
So this is how I feel about Cavs first half. Do you know, and I feel like somebody's listening is going to relate. Do you know how when everything checks out for a play, like 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, everything checks out, everything is good. It's a nationally televised game. And then for some reason, the play doesn't work and a whole bunch of people lose out. That's the only thing that scares me about Cavs first half, because it feels like everybody should be on the Cavs first half.
Yeah, you know what? I think I actually am. I'm going to do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Marquee game of the day. Everyone's going to be watching it. It's on ESPN.
It's a really good play. It's a really good play.
Yeah, I'll go Cavs first half. I believe that's -1.5 at around -110. Cavs have been so good at home, especially, but they come out and try to bury you immediately. The Thunder are the opposite. They give you what's called false hope. They'll let you get comfortable, and they'll kill you. So I see the Cavs getting a pretty decent lead early, and then I think the Thunder maybe come back in the second half, maybe not. But the Cavs have been a really, really good first half team. And I want to quickly pull up the actual first half point differential, if I could find it, in the league. Because I feel like the Thunder are probably not that great in terms of first half margin. Cavs are number 1 in the league. In fact, at home, they have a first half point differential of positive 11.7.
This gotta be crazy.
It's positive 11.7, which is the highest in the league by basically 2 full points. They are the best first half team in the league by a mile. And you're looking at the Thunder on the road. They are not that good, actually. The Thunder as a whole trying to find it, just where the Thunder are located. Thunder actually are the best first half road team in the league, so that makes it kind of interesting. But the last 3 games, -8.7. They've gotten smacked in the first half of the last 3 games. The Cavs, though, best first half team in the league. They're the best at home in the league. Give me the Cavs to show up and to try to make a statement early. Give me Cavs first half -1.5 as my lock. For my dog, I feel like I want to take something with the Clippers, but they screwed me last time I took them because they fell apart in the second half against Minnesota. But I really don't think that Jokic is going to play. But New Orleans is favored in a basketball game?
Yeah, it's really bad, man. Like, that's really tough. I had to find some type of way to take to take Portland. Like, that's really crazy. And it's not the Wizards. They're favored in a game that's not the Wizards.
I'm trying to do I want to go with like a parlay in this one? I could potentially parlay 2 teams here. But it really comes down to if Joker's going to play or not. But I don't think he's going to. So, you know what? We will do something different. We'll do a parlay, actually. We will go with the Clippers money line, parlayed with the Trailblazers money line, and that pays out a +301.
All right, I like that. That's
I could do Clippers first half because the Nuggets are really bad in the first half anyway. But if Joker's not going to play, they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just go with the Trailblazers and Clippers money line parlay +301.
All right. I already opened up Underdog. I got Giannis higher 30.5 points in there. And it's really because he didn't do anything last game. Like, I'm pretty sure.
He went out of his way to say, listen, I'm going to get 13 assists in basically the first 3 quarters, so I'm going to take a nap.
Really,
But
he had 10 in the first half.
it actually is what Toronto does, though. You look at his numbers against Toronto; they never let him score. So that might just be a defensive game plan thing.
San Antonio?
No, I'm saying
Oh,
Toronto.
yeah, Toronto game.
Toronto goes out of their way to kind of prevent Giannis from scoring a bunch of points. It's been a thing for years. So that was more of a matchup thing for me personally.
Okay.
Point is, Giannis looked good.
Need 2 more plays. What are we doing?
Okay, I'm trying to think of what you want to pivot with. You want to go maxi points?
I did have that thought. It's at 30.5.
Yeah.
Are we just completely fading the Wizards doing anything with Max?
That was going to be my dog, by the way. It was going to be maxi for 35, and I saw that it was plus
really?
185, and I'm like, you know what? That is horrible odds. I cannot take that. So I passed.
All right. So we'll take Maxi. Maxi 30.5. Wow, a couple of 30.5 points props here today.
Yeah, we're picking for some star players to have some solid games.
Yeah. All right. We can go Giddy. We can go the Gittler. We can go with the Gittler. Lonzo's playing 24 minutes. We know that for certain. So I'm at the point in the season where I'm actually okay playing Lonzo props. But Nembhard, we could. I know we talked about McConnell. We could pivot to Nembhard. They don't have McConnell up. Benedict Mathurin points. I kind of want to get something going in that Chicago.
Mathurin was really good against the Nets when I watched him play the other night.
And it's at 16.5. It's actually what is he? Why is it 16.5? Has he been sucking? And I've just not been.
No, he was great against the Nets from what I watched.
Like 16.5 feels really short for Ben Mathurin.
Let me just see how he's done against the Bulls in the past. 19, 15, 15, 17, 14, 26, 15. So he's been pretty consistent against the Bulls. He had 19 last game, though, on 34 minutes. So assuming he has some playing time, he tends to play pretty well.
And it's no Halliburton. So
potentially, yeah.
Well, potentially no Halliburton. Yeah.
I know McConnell's not looking for a shot, so
yeah, let's go with Ben Mathurin. Yeah. All right. Giannis, higher, 30.5 points. Tyrese Maxey, higher, 30.5 points. Ben Mathurin, higher, 16.5 points. Add that all in Underdog Fantasy. Shake it up, and you're going to get $6x $100. Get you $600 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you tap in. Use that promo code NBA SGPN. You get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here? Yes, I do like Portland 1-10. I just didn't have that line available to me.
Do you want me to give it to you now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Portland 1-10 if you want to go for win margin here. The issue is the Pelicans could get smacked. That's also a separate issue. You might run into
that's also the issue that I have, but I do like
yeah, Portland 1-10 is plus 220.
That's super tempting.
You want to add it?
No, I can't. I'm banned from that book, so I can't.
Okay.
It's fine.
Are they not a fan of you?
I don't know. It's not even me. It's not. It's you know how you do the. Oh, I'm not living in a state, and so somebody else. Yeah, but this is back when I'm talking about. This is back in 2020 when nobody was sports betting. At this point, I don't need nobody else to put the bets in for me. I can do it myself. Just let me back. Let me back in. Yeah, super frustrating. I have to use a parlay dealer to get anything down on FanDuel. Really annoying. All right. Probably wasn't supposed to say their name. Whatever.
No, you can. You're roasting. We're sponsored by the other one.
Ah, yeah. Okay. He's at Right Show Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA on Twitter as well. And make sure you give us a like, comment, subscribe, drop a like in the video before you get up out of here. Yeah, Bet365 do that sometimes too. But I've gone and hit them back up and they've been like, oh yeah, sure, come on back. No, every time I talk to FanDuel, they're literally like, no, you're banned for life. No. And I'm like, oh, great. Appreciate it. I'm sure one day I'm going to blow up, Scott, and we're going to be we're going to be like millionaires and on TV and doing huge, big things. And then they're going to be begging me to come back. All right. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. Good luck today. Make sure you drop a like before we get up out of here and go watch some football after all of these bad NBA games, according to everybody else not in the league. All right. We are out of here.